Another day out in the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. Today I'm going to run the Waterline Trail. It's a service road between a water tank at the top of the neighborhood above Forest Park, and it runs for about 2 miles where it ends when it intersects the Middleton Power Line trail. So I'm running along a little single track here. As we get to the water tank, it will turn into a double track or service road. So we run along this fence line. These people's property that live along here have a giant backyard of the Red Cliff Desert Reserve. So there's a pedestrian access gate at the top of that neighborhood there above Forest Park. If you were to drive here, you'd either have to park on the street or there is a parking lot at Forest Park. Forest Park is a cute little park, city park, has a pond, picnic tables, some playground equipment, and restrooms. The pond is home to ducks and geese and fish and turtles. Most of those fish and turtles were probably people's pets at one time. So I tried to record audio as I was running. You can see me holding a microphone in my left hand. And unfortunately, the quality of the audio, it didn't turn out very well. It captures the propeller noise of the flying camera, and it also was a bit noisy and inconsistent because I made the mistake of holding it in my hand instead of clipping it to my waist belt or my collar. So the audio turned out to be not usable. And I'm running what would be considered a conversational pace because I wanted to record audio. So I'm running at a pace that I'm not breathing so hard that I can't talk. So I'm taking it pretty easy here, enjoying the day. Yesterday was very rainy. So today is just gorgeous. The air is crystal clear from the rain. There's fresh smells of wet earth and sage. It's just a glorious day to be out here. And with all this recent rain, there should be a lot of growth of vegetation. So the desert tortoise will have lots to eat, and so will all the little rodents and rabbits that live out here. There's desert cottontail, jackrabbits, there's kangaroo rats, pack rats, mice, chipmunks, all kinds of little creatures out here. And of course, there are predators. I've seen fox, coyote, bobcat. And there are some naughty raccoons that they mostly stick around the neighborhood area where there's trees and garbage and people's pet food that they leave out for the raccoons to eat. So there's also snakes out here. And I've seen various varieties of snake, and I've seen a lot of rattlesnakes out here. They tend to only be out, during warmer times of the year. I only am here in Utah during the fall and the spring. So it's usually in the spring when it first starts warming up, we'll all see snakes come out. And right up here, we cross a power line and at a power line service road. I don't know if this has any name, but it follows some power lines that go up to a power substation up on Cottonwood Road. And one day, right after I crossed this road, I was running at a pretty good clip, and there was a large snake that was crossing from my right to left across the service road. And it was a large rattlesnake. It was one of the bigger ones I've ever seen. It was probably 5 or 6 feet long. It was all stretched out, and when I got to it, I put on the brakes, I stopped, it put on the brakes and stopped. We locked eyes for a second and a half, and it reared up. And I've never seen a snake do that before. I guess in movies you see king cobras doing that. But this snake reared up. It had a big pit viper head, and probably half its body length was up off the ground. Its head was close to waist high on me. And it was an older snake because it must have had at least a dozen or more segments to its rattle. I know that's a way you can estimate the age of the snake. And it was rattling away, and then it started hissing at me, and its hiss was louder than the rattle, which was surprising. But I quickly backed off and turned around and ran the other direction, and it was able to complete its journey across the road. It was a beautiful snake. It probably had just shed because it was shiny and its skin was clear and wasn't all dusty and dirty. A lot of times you see a snake, they kind of blend into the soil. They're essentially dusty and dirty, but this one was clean. And from what I understand, right after they shed or during the shedding process, they can be especially aggressive and grumpy. And this snake was grumpy. Now, off in the distance there, you can see a cloud bank and some snow-capped mountains. Those are the Pine Valley Mountains. And yesterday, when it rained all day, it snowed up there. So it's quite a bit colder up there. It's a good 6,000-7,000 feet higher in elevation than here. I think we're here is about 3,000 feet, and I think the highest points up there are around 10,000 feet. So with all the rain, we should also get a good wildflower bloom. Probably later this winter, early spring. I'm approaching the Middleton Power Line here. You can see the power poles. I'm going to turn around here and head back south to the water tank. Now, on the way back, I joined up with another runner, powerful runner, and we were having a lot of fun, just chatting and laughing and enjoying the moment out in the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. Yeah, it's just simple moments like this where everything else just fades away, and you really appreciate how close this expansive open space is to the city. And being able to come out here and enjoy it and run it, it is priceless to have this opportunity. And hopefully you can see the joy and how happy we are just to be out here, a beautiful day in the desert, running along, making fun of one another. laughing away. I'm not sure what all we were talking about, but maybe it was the concept of, there was a quote from the Yellowstone series 1883 where Elsa Dutton is out riding a horse across the prairie, and she said that freedom was running wild over untamed lands, with the only notion of moment being the moment you're in. So here I am expressing my gratitude for having this place. I sure hope it can be preserved for others to enjoy. She was talking about riding horses, and there's horses that come and ride back here. And for this day, it's the freedom of a run, one of those runs where you just feel light and effortless.